And are you refreshed? Good. Now what? Dreams are manifestations too, aren't they?
Yes.
She said she had a dream last night. So what's manifesting in your reality is a match to what's going on with your vibration. What manifests in your dream state is, were we really smart in your dream?
Yes, always. I'm gonna bring this. Okay. So I do hands-on healing with people, and our Reverend taught us that in order to become the perfect healer, you yourself must be fully healed. And I'm getting really better at it, and it's becoming good, but there's still this one thing that I have, and it's so deep-seated that I've been told that it came from a past life. And it's
well, nothing does. Nothing comes from a past life. We know it's an excuse you've been counting on. We'll just briefly tell you why. When you think about it, when you feel negative emotion, what does that negative emotion mean?
It means you're not in the vortex.
It means what you're focused upon right now is off from what the larger part of you is focused upon. So if your inner being will not even join you in one negative thought, what do you think the odds are that you've been sent back to get something right that you messed up before? In other words, when you reemerge into non-physical, you become the vibrational version of all that expansion. And it's from that expanded place that you renew, that you come for your next experience, you see. So we promise you, everything that is in the form of resistance that is present in your experience now, you've picked it up along this physical trail, and you can leave it right on the trail.
So there's nothing so deep-rooted in you that you...
Well, we're not saying that you don't have some resistance, and we'll help you, we'll talk about it here. We're not saying that you don't have resistance. We're just saying don't put it off on something that has nothing to do with your vibration at this time. Your vibration right now, there are two vantage points of your vibration. There's the source energy and the vibration of your source energy, and there's you and what you're thinking right now. And everything that you feel is about that relationship. Everything that you feel, and everything that is past life, you reemerged back in, is part of this pure positive energy, you see. So that's why we can tell you unequivocally that resistance is always about what you're thinking about here and now, and you can let it go. We'll show you. So we interrupted you. Continue. If you want.
Well, I just wanted to know how to unroot it then, because it's such a huge trigger that it. And I was told that from other people, not from you, obviously, but that you can manage it, but it will never be gone. Like, it'll always be there in the back of your mind. You can kind of ignore it and gloss over it.
Well, this is always true. Everything that you've lived, let's give you the big version of this. So prior to this life experience, you were source energy. And a part of that consciousness came into this physical body, and you know it as this personality. Mm-hmm. So you know what you don't want, and you know what you do want, and you keep sending these rockets where this larger part of you continues to expand. And that's been going on for a long time. This larger part of you is this expansive, magnificent, loving, pure positive energy being. So here you are having this vibrational relationship with this larger part of you. So when you think a thought that makes you feel insecure, the reason for the insecurity is because the source within you isn't having that kind of thought. When you're feeling critical of yourself or critical of someone else or finding fault somewhere, you're going to have an off moment. And so it's possible for you to focus, as many people do, on things that the source within you is not focused upon, and set up that sort of discord or resistance. But when you make your transition into non-physical, we promise you that in one fell swoop, you will leave all resistance behind, and you will become this pure positive energy being. Now, there are a lot of people that don't like that, because don't like the idea of it, because they were really counting on the rascals of your world really getting punished once they reemerge into non-physical. But it is not that way. You leave all that resistance behind, and you become all that you are. We just don't think you should have to croak to come into full alignment with who you are. We know that you can find a way of coming into alignment now. But here's the thing, and maybe this is what they were getting at, because this is something that we know for sure. You will never be able to look at issues or situations or things that you have judgment, negative judgment about, and be in the vortex at the same time. In other words, you just have to focus yourself somewhere where alignment happens rather than somewhere where misalignment happens. The thing about being a facilitator to assist someone in healing, the most important thing is to realize that every person that you are interacting with that is seeking some relief or some well-being, they also have a pure positive energy source within them. They also are connected to this stream of well-being. And when they are in their place of illness, their desire for wellness has already launched huge rockets of desire. So they're summoning the energy in a very powerful way. But in the same way that they were letting one thing or another be their reason for resisting the energy that they were summoning, often now that they're sick, they are even resisting more because now they have the illness to deal with or the fear of the diagnosis to deal with. And so it's a pretty common thing for people when they need the energy the most to be blocking it because they're all sort of in resistance because of now the situation that they are observing. As we said earlier today, most people offer most of their vibration in response to what they're observing. It's a really rare one of you that offers your vibration just because you know about the vortex and you want to line up with it. So the way you play into the scenario as a healer or an uplifter is you are one who encourages and influences and emphasizes the allowing part of their equation, because they're already asking. The 3 steps of the process are: first, ask. And boy, are they ever asking. What they're living has them asking big time. The energy is really flowing. The cells of their body are asking, and the energy is flowing big time. But if they're in resistance because of their fear, or in resistance because of their habit of thought that brought it about to begin with, then just goosing up the energy isn't going to help. A lot of people think that healing is, well, I will harness the energy that creates worlds and I will point it toward you and electrocute you with it. And goosing up the energy isn't helpful and doesn't need to be. They're already drawing all of the energy that they need, but they often could use some influence of softening resistance from you see. So think about softening resistance. Now, think about the comment that you just made. That was really the opposite of softening any resistance. You probably have something from a past life that we will never be able to uncover that is the reason for the... You see what we're getting at?
Yes.
So softening resistance really means distraction. It means distraction from whatever has you doing that thing you're doing that is causing the resistance to be there. Distraction, soothing, just the gentle touch. You know, from what we are witnessing around your planet, the healers that are actually affecting the most benefit are those who are soft, gentle touch, even those who are offering what they call massage. Because in the soft, gentle touch, there is a often relaxation and an allowing of the energy to flow that would be flowing without the facilitator of you being there, but you being there causes them to allow it in a way that they may not have before. So you, as a healer, and you are, tune in to where they're at, and then you just do your best to soothe energy. And you do your best to soothe their resistance with your confidence. In other words, when you know what we know about wellness, when you know that someone who's sick has launched a rocket and in their vortex they are weller than they've ever been, and when you know that all that needs to be done is a reestablishment of their connection with their vortex, when you know that and you see yourself as a facilitator to reconnect them with their vortex, then staying off the subject of what's going on is a really good way of distracting them from whatever is bothering them, is a really good way by conveying to them your knowledge or your expectation of well-being, you see. Some years ago, we were visiting with a nurse who was asking what she might do to further facilitate the well-being of some of her patients. And we gave her a similar version that we just gave you. And she said, oh, Abraham, we're not allowed to give false hope. And we said, well, we're not interested in any false hope. We're interested in giving sureness. But if you're not able to encourage, then you have nothing to give. If it is your job to look at the what is of someone and just constantly reflect back what is, then you are part of the problem, not part of the solution. To be a healer, to be part of the solution, you have to know what you know. And can you imagine you being all tuned into that knowing and holding someone as your object of attention and feeling no fear on their behalf because you're completely focused upon their vortex, and then reflecting back your knowing? Can you imagine even the temporary little bit of relief that you might bring them? And that temporary little bit of relief, and then another, and then another, and then another, and then another, and another, that is the magic that you have to offer. You can elicit from the sickest of persons a manifestation that will reflect your knowing. That's what healing is. You manifesting wellness because you know what you know, regardless of what anybody's looking at, you see. That's what healing is.
It's amazing. Thank you.